Okay, so last page of the review package, exam review package. So we have number 30. Surya took out a $5,000 personal loan at 8% interest compounded monthly over 2 years. Now, this is a tricky question because once people saw the word compounded, they went straight to the compound formula, which is A equals P times 1 plus I to the n. This will help you calculate the amount overall, and then when you divide it, you'll get your monthly payment. But the tricky question is they actually tell you what the monthly payment is. So you don't need to do this. They already did it for you and got this answer. So here, they're just asking if this is your monthly payment over 2 years, how much do you have to pay? So it's just the 226 times the 24 months in the 2 years, and then you'll get your amount. And then for the interest, well, originally it was just $5,000 that you borrowed. So when you subtract that from that, you get the 427. Okay. So this question was a little tricky because once you saw the word compound, you went straight to the formula, but they actually calculated it for you. So that's all you have to do for this question. What was the formula for simple interest again? Yep. Principal times rate times cost. Yep. So I equals PRT. Okay, so that's simple interest formula. That's the compound interest formula. Remember, for the compound interest formula, don't forget you have to divide the I by the number of terms and times the N by the number of terms. Okay. If on the exam, if you're gonna see an interest question, it will most likely be this one. Okay, the compound interest. Number 31, you are taking out a loan. Okay, so you're taking out a loan. So remember what happens, what's to your benefit when you take a loan. Okay, for each situation, will it increase or decrease the monthly payment? So if I change the term from 2 years to 3 years, which means you're borrowing the money for longer. Okay, that is bad for you, but if you are taking longer to repay, monthly payment wise, it will decrease because instead of paying back 5,000 over 2 years, you're spreading it out to pay over 3 years. Yes, you do pay more interest that way, but monthly payment does go down. Okay, because you're dividing by 36 rather than 24. So this is actually a tricky one. EQEO does ask that. Okay, so keep that in mind. What if the interest rate is changing from 8% to 7%? So if the interest rate decreases, that's a good thing for you. And so your monthly payment should be going down for the same number of terms. And then lastly, if you reduce your principal, which means that it says that you have $1,000 that you can pay right off the bat. So that's a down payment. So if you put down a down payment, then your principal is lower, which means the amount of money you have to borrow is lower. So your monthly payment will also go down. Okay. So for this, in this case, all three would decrease your monthly payment. Okay? But overall cost will cost more for the first scenario. Okay, number 32. All right, so again, those of you who are on your phone, this is for you guys. All right, so make sure, yes, thank you. I got my grade 9 credit already. All right, so this part for you guys, this is income, and then this side is the expense. So what is her total income for the month of April? So just add these two, and a lot of time you do get paid bi-weekly. So every 2 weeks, this is how much she makes. So add up those two; those are your income. Her expense, add these up, and then that will be her expense. Is this about calculate her monthly balance? So her balance is income subtract expense. Income take away expense, you get the $26 and $21.64. Is this balanced? Yes, but not the greatest. Okay, so as long as your income is greater than your expense, then it is a balanced worksheet.
Just to be sure, the $100 that she spent like saving for her car, that's not an expense, right?
It is. So any money that you have to save up or like buy GIC or RSP or anything like that, it will consider an expense. Yeah. Okay. And then so it's not the greatest, but it is balanced. So unfortunately, her hours have been cut, and so she lose half of her pay. Round your answer to the nearest dollar. So income, if you divide that by 2, that means now her monthly income is just 170. Ribrash, I'll keep your phone up here. Okay. I see you touch it again. I'm taking it for the period. Okay. And then lastly, how would you change her budget so that it's better for the for the month of May? Okay, because her expense is now um, lower than her income. Okay, so that means she has to save an extra $155 somewhere. So, for example, don't save up for the car. That will save her $100. Only save up money when you can, when you are able. Okay, and then take away the spending money, the $75. Okay, that's just one option that you could do, or um, you could cut down on the gas and just walk for that month, for example. Okay, so those are just some examples. 33. You are given this right angle triangle, and whenever you see right angle triangle, what does that mean? Pythagorean theorem, right? So for the first one, you're looking for the hypotenuse, so it's the adding. So a squared plus b squared, okay, is not just a plus b equals c. Okay. Square it, add it, square root it, you get 13.3 centimeters. So for the perimeter, you're just adding the 3 sides, you get 32 centimeters. For area, someone was asking me yesterday, now that I have the 3 sides, how do I know which one is my base, which one is my height? Your base is always the horizontal, your height is always the vertical. Okay, so the 2 sides, that makes a 90-degree angle. So just like when you measure your own height, you don't measure yourself leaning against the wall. You stand up straight, right? So height and base. So base times height divided by 2, you get your answer. Don't forget units. Perimeter, centimeters. Area, centimeters square. All right. And then opposite, you're doing you're finding the side length. So you're doing the subtraction one. Okay, b squared equals c squared minus a squared. So one thing in terms of format that I want you to pay attention to, remember it's not 6 squared minus 12 squared. 6 squared minus 12 squared gives you a negative number. Can you have negative length? No. Okay, so it's always the bigger number subtract the smaller number. And then square root it, you get your 10.4 meters. Add up the 3 sides, that's your perimeter. Base times height divided by 2, that's your area. Okay, right, Nifya? Okay, let's focus. Okay. Last 3 questions. So a 6-meter ladder is leaning against a wall and is 2 meters away from the wall. So you are doing something like this. Okay, draw the diagram. You actually know the hypotenuse because that's the ladder. The ladder is 6 meters. And you're looking for the side length. So when you do this, you get 5.7. Now it's asking if it's safe or not. But I didn't show the hint on the photocopy. So the photocopy was supposed to say, for example, like if it's 6 meters high, then it's safe. Under 6 meters, it's not. Then in this case, it's not. All right. So I forgot to show the hint, so don't worry about it. Okay. Last 2 with the circles. If angle E is 24, what is angle B? Yep. Why?
Because it's inside inscribed.
Perfect. Right. They're both your inscribed angles. Okay. And what about angle ACD? Yeah.
48.
48. Why?
Like it's the.
What is it called? Central angle. Right. Okay. And notice here, this time I asked what is angle ACD? So remember, ACD means tracing with your finger, ACD like this. A lot of people, I don't know why, I say ACD and then they make a triangle. They go back to A. All right, remember it's an angle. ACD is an angle. Unless you have a triangle symbol at the front that says triangle ACD, then it's referring to an angle. Okay, so do you need to know these two terms? Yes. Okay, remember the names. While we're looking at this right here, what is line AB called? Line AB. Yep. Chord. That's right. It's not your diameter because it doesn't go through the center. So it's actually just a chord, a very long chord. What about DC? Line DC. Yep. Radius. Good. AD. Michelle? Arc. Good. Okay. What about the outside of the circle? Yep. Yeah. Circumference. Good. Okay. All those names. So Sam, make sure you know it by tomorrow. Yeah. So the whole thing, perimeter of the circle, circumference. So know it by. You have 24 hours to remember. Okay, and then the last one right here, again, if you know that the central angle is 96, that means those two are your inscribed angle, which is half of it, and it's 48 degrees. Don't forget the unit, 48 degree, that little symbol. I don't see that little angle symbol, degree symbol. It is half a mark off. Okay. Oops.